Many thanks for staying with us. The federal legislature has been advised to enact a law that will make it mandatory for all manufactured pharmaceutical products to have barcodes as well as other traceable identities to ensure the sale and consumption of safe medicines in Nigeria.
Our health correspondent Jacqueline Ogo was at the second African GS1 conference on the tracking and tracing of drugs in Lagos. Her report.
The World Health Organization says about 1 million people die of the consumption of fake and counterfeit drugs every year. 130,000 amongst them are Africans. This conference on ensuring access to safe medicines has delegates from across the world in the drug regulatory industry who have signed an action plan to save lives. One important way to achieve this, they say, is to ensure manufactured drugs have barcodes, which are not just ordinary lines with figures underneath them, but coded ways of tracing, tracking, and knowing through the use of electronic devices where and when a drug was manufactured, the manufacturer, whether or not it should be in the market, or whether it is fake, counterfeit, or not.
There are many things that GS1 standards can do to help identify the products in the supply chain and to help keep them safer, and in partnership with NAFDAC and all of our other partners, working together across the supply chain to keep the medical products secure.
If I have malaria and then I'm given this drug, you will be able to say this malaria tablet came from shop A. And shop A got it from distributor B. And then distributor B took it from whoever is the intermediary and then all the way back to the manufacturer. That's the level of visibility we are trying to bring to the healthcare system.
About 70% of drugs consumed in Nigeria are manufactured outside the country. NAFDAC is desperate to see the empowerment of local manufacturers for a change in this situation, to enable the agency monitor better from the scratch what Nigerians are consuming.
We need a system where we can track and trace our medicines. We are not there at all in Nigeria, and that's why we have a 5-year plan to get there as much as possible.
Consuming drugs that cannot be traced to any manufacturer is highly dangerous. That's because if the drugs are fake or adulterated, they can lead to the loss of lives. This GS1 conference on safe medicines is trying to ensure that this no longer happens in Nigeria. Jacqueline Ogo, TVC News, Lagos.
I'm now being joined by our health correspondent, Jacqueline Ogo, for more on the ongoing GS1 African Conference. Now, Jacqueline, this conference is on the tracking and tracing of fake and counterfeit medicines to ensure safety in the continent. Why is it so important at this time?
Yes, but it's very important at this time that, African governments take serious steps towards checkmating fakery. The reason is this: if one country is serious about it and the other is doing nothing about it, because counterfeiters are desperate people, they would find your country a ready market for them because they know you're doing nothing about it. So they can't come in. And African nations have this challenge of having porous borders. So it would be so easy for them to trip into Nigeria and say, okay, this is good market for us. So when we are tightening up strategies in Nigeria and neighboring countries or brother African countries are not doing anything, rather sister African countries are not doing anything, then we have a big challenge, still to face. So now G1, which is a non-profit organization helping African countries strengthen their strategies, is actually making sure that they are able to hold their sides together very well so that no one is able to move from one country to the other doing this fake business.
All right then, Jacqueline, many thanks for joining us at this time to speak on that issue.